What if the most important thing the Bulls added this week wasn't just length, athleticism, or upside? What if the most important thing they added was edge? Because after watching Caleb Wilson speak at the introductory press conference, I think Bulls fans are allowed to feel something that they have not felt for a very long time. Excited, not cautiously interested, not a wait and see. No, I'm talking about excited. Because Caleb Wilson walked into Chicago and not sounding like a player hoping he belonged, but he sounded like a player who already believed that he does. And for a franchise that has spent way too much time being passive or careful and safe, well, I think all of that matters. Welcome to the Bull-ieve Podcast. My name is Sonny Verma, and today I want to talk to you about Caleb Wilson's introductory press conference. Make sure you're subscribed to this channel and make sure you hit the like button on this particular video. Today, I want to talk about Caleb Wilson's introductory press conference, why Bulls fans should not run away from the confidence, why it kind of reminded me a little bit about another Caleb in Chicago sports, and why this franchise desperately needed someone with this kind of attitude. Let's be honest, the Chicago Bulls have not lacked talent over the years. They've kind of lacked bite. They've lacked swagger. They've lacked a young guy who walks into a building and says, no, I'm not waiting for my turn. I'm not here to be average. I'm here to be him. And that is what Caleb Wilson essentially sounded like on Friday. Now, again, before we go too far, let me make one thing clear. I'm not going to sit here and tell you that Caleb Wilson is guaranteed to be a superstar. I'm not even pretending that press conferences win games. What I'm saying is I know the NBA is going to humble everybody eventually. When you're trying to build a new era, attitude is almost just as important as talent. And the Bulls may have just drafted a player with the exact kind of attitude this franchise has been missing for a very long time. The moment that's really stood out was when longtime NBA reporter Sam Smith asked Wilson about the idea that other players in this draft class were perceived to be more NBA ready. It's the kind of question where a lot of rookies would probably go the safe route or give the diplomatic answer. Say, oh, I respect those guys. I'm just focused on getting better each and every day. Any of one of those textbook answers would be okay. But Caleb Wilson did something different. He basically said, I played all of them. You know what happened when I played them. I don't really care about the media. I'm a competitor. I get to play them in Summer League too. Whatever needs to be done to prove I'm on that level or better. That's not a guy talking himself into confidence. It's a guy who already has it. And there absolutely is a difference. Some players perform with confidence because they think they're supposed to. Caleb Wilson genuinely talks as if he has that confidence, that when he steps on the floor with guys who are drafted ahead of him, well, he's not looking up at anybody. And that's what we want, because it, in a way, reminded me of the other Caleb Williams, before he got drafted by the Chicago Bears. Not because they're the same person. Obviously, it's a different sport, but there's similar energy there. Caleb Wilson, even before he was drafted by the Chicago Bears, talked about he not caring about the past lack of success that the Chicago Bears quarterbacks had, that he wanted to come to Chicago and be the greatest, not just the greatest Chicago Bear quarterback of all time, but be the greatest quarterback of all time, period. People debated it, people questioned it, and some people loved it. Some people were uncomfortable with it. But what was clear was that he was not scared of the moment. And that's what I felt like watching Caleb Wilson. He did not seem overwhelmed by Chicago, nor intimidated by long-standing media members. He wasn't a kid that was just happy to be there. And that's what Bulls fans should want, because look, Chicago is not a safe landing spot. This is the franchise of Michael Jordan, of Derrick Rose. It's a city that has seen greatness. It's a fan base that knows exactly what greatness looks like. And this is a fan base that has also lived through a lot of mediocrity. So when a young player comes in and says, I'm striving to be the greatest ever, you can laugh at it all you want. You can roll your eyes if you want. You can say, hey, slow down. And I get all that. But you know what? My reaction is different. My reaction is good. Because what's he supposed to say? Oh, I just want to be decent. I hope to get a second contract. No, this is not how great players think. Great players may not all say it publicly, but somewhere deep down, they believe they can become special before anybody in their circles believes it for them. That's what made Derrick Rose comparison hit for me, right? We all remember before the season started when Derrick Rose called out wanting to be an MVP. The reporters kind of softly giggled. Fans were like, okay, yeah, maybe someday. Well, Derrick Rose didn't giggle. Derrick Rose wasn't thinking someday. Derrick Rose was thinking that year. And that's exactly what happened. Derrick went out and he did it. Again, that does not mean that Caleb Wilson's going to become Derrick Rose. That's not what I'm saying at all. But Caleb Wilson was very clear. Pretty much the first question that was asked him was, what was your expectations for yourself this year? His response, I want to be the rookie of the year. There's a certain power in a young player being willing enough to speak greatness into existence and accept the responsibility that comes with it. And I think that's the part that a lot of people are missing. When you say you want to be rookie of the year, you are putting pressure on yourself. When you say you want to be the greatest player of all time, you are putting pressure on yourself. And when you say you don't care about the media narratives that you're going to prove it against a draft class in Summer League and beyond, well, once again, you're putting that pressure on yourself. And I like that because the Bulls need players who are willing to carry that pressure. This franchise has spent way too much time in a place where everybody sounded reasonable. Everybody just said the right thing, talking about patience. And then the product just ends up being okay. Not terrible enough to do a proper reset and not good enough to seriously contend. Just simply okay. And quite honestly, okay has become exhausting. Bulls fans are not tired because they expect a championship every season. Bulls fans are tired because they want to feel a direction. They want to feel energy. They want to feel like there's something being built, an identity is being formed. And that's where Caleb Wilson comes in. Because identity doesn't always just start with game plans. It does not start with roster construction. Sometimes it just starts with the players you put on the floor. And Caleb Wilson looks like someone who wants to smoke. And now pair that with Modest, that's where things get even more interesting. Because again, Modest has shown some of that edge too. He has that competitive fire. He has that self-belief. So if you're a Bulls fan, you can finally start seeing the outline of something. Modest Buzelis and Caleb Wilson. Two young forwards, two long, athletic, skilled players, two guys with confidence. That is exciting. And again, I'm not saying we know what this is going to eventually become, but at least now we kind of have something we can talk ourselves into. This is a young core with a personality, an attitude. Confidence is great, but confidence has to become work. It has to become film study, accepting coaching, playing through bad nights, because there are going to be bad nights. So the question is not, is Caleb Wilson confident? Obviously, it's clear that he is. The question is going to be, is that confidence attached to the right habit? But I will say this, if you're going to bet on a young player, bet on talent, bet on tools, and bet on work ethic. And yeah, bet on belief. Because when a player becomes great, he usually has to believe he can be great. And Caleb Wilson clearly believes that. And for a Bulls franchise that badly needed a new attitude, that's a pretty good place to start. Thanks once again for joining us at the Bull-ieve Podcast. On your way out, please hit the like button. Let me know your comment section. Are you as hyped as I am about that introductory press conference today? Let me know in the comments. I read each and every one. Until next time, see you red.